Okay, this is Joshua Taylor coming to you from here in North Bend, British Columbia. This is episode 12, and this is on the Joepipe this time. And I can say that my test today, a few hours back, I upgraded to a 2-inch air input on the 12-volt fan, 4-inch marine fan, and it worked fine. I would say that testing was about 85%. I was only able to heat up the fire brick up to about maybe 1700 tops, so maybe the pipe was around maybe 750 to 800 degrees when I took the temperature. So I want to talk on where I want to take the Joepipe. So we're going to get rid of this. As you know that I'm preparing secondary feed to add water gas to, where you just take gas and water and you bubble air through, and when you put it through the pipe it actually turns into water gas, which is a combination of carbon monoxide, CO, plus hydrogen. So I'm able to bond about 3 parts H2O with one gas. So that gives me a distillate of approximately 300 to 400%. In other words, I'm taking that gas, mixing it with water, and bonding it as it goes through the Joepipe. It's chemically changed, made stable, and I can actually increase the usage of the gasoline 300 to 400%. A lot of people, China and other countries, they've been mixing water to gas at a rate of about 50%, 80%. So I'm way beyond what even they are doing. So basically, with the little bubbler that I have now, this is the water. So this is the gas layer. Very little gas, maybe half a cup, maybe 8 ounces of gas, and the rest is water. And I have a air stone in the bottom that causes the bubbles to come up. So you get lots of agitation motion here. You end up getting your gas. So I take the gas and and I pour it out and put it to the Joepipe. When I get time, I'll actually do some tests where I actually weigh the gas and the fuel, and I'll keep track of my running time, and I'll be able to figure out the ratios. But approximately 3 to 4 to 1. If you have a bubbler, like the larger the bubbler, it is going to produce more bonding between the water and gas. In the years that I've done testing initially years ago, I was just using a air pump, which is, I have no air stone on it, and I was getting about a 3 to 1 ratio of water to gas, and that was in the summertime. Summertime, I get a lot better reaction. Wintertime, like I'm saying, I'm down to 1700 on the fire brick test. And in the summer, my exhaust temperatures are around at least 2150 and about 25 to 2600 degrees in the core. Why it works better in the summer, I can't tell you that. It could be because of the high humidity in the summer, that the Joepipe actually burns the humidity that's in the air and converts it into hydrogen. But anyway, what I'm hoping for when I run it through, I'm hoping that my hydrogen content, H2, usually it's around 40%. Syngas could have different ratios, 30%, 40%, 50%. Wood gas is maybe 50, 55% hydrogen, and the rest is CO, right? Carbon monoxide. So I'm hoping to hit 60% hydrogen and 40% CO, which should be good, because that's means that you only have a carbon footprint of 40%. And if this is used in an engine, it's going to run it clean. There'll be no carbon buildup in the pistons. But the reason for doing this, okay, it's going to draw the Joepipe. So that's your propane coming in. And so you might get a flame front, this is your swirl device here. The propane goes through there and it makes a spin. And you can tune it down to where it's about like that. So what I'm hoping to do, when I add the water gas through, they don't have really all that much yield as far as volume. So the water gas would go around the 1/4 inch propane, backed off from the swirl device, and as it goes through the flame front, it's going to crack, it's going to get smaller, right? And it's going to go from a micron, plus micron size to a sub-micron or nano size. It could, break up even 1,000 times more refined. So when you take water gas, or it could be water vapor or steam, when you break it up into dry steam, you actually phase changing it from the second state of matter, which is water, into the gaseous state, which is the third state of matter. And that's what you want to do with the water gas as it goes through. So theoretically, when it goes through, it'll be chemically changed. You should get a carbon to oxygen bonding. You might even get a water shift. So I'm looking for the water shift. Those of you that are in the gasification, you know that a water shift is a good thing. So I'm hoping when I pass it through, I'm going to get that the flame's going to bump up, maybe 30%. I'd like to see maybe 50% increase. So this means that this is very, very cheap fuel. You can run it for an hour, and you might burn maybe 25 cents worth of gasoline, right? But you might give between, say, 30% to 50% efficiency to your pipe. You could bump it up. Say if your pipe was putting out 2,000 BTU, that by passing the water gas through, now you're getting 3,000 BTU, which is really, really good. And it's a clean, very clean burn. So once I'm at that stage, and I've recorded my data, now that you have a cheap source of heat, right? Because my friend Don Stein, when he was doing his testing, and he's got 12 patents on the Joepipe around the world now, and he's getting into multi-million-dollar deals with various people, corporates, and he's proved that the Joepipe as a fuel for heating water, is about 300% over and above the best hot water heating systems in the world. So you're already at 300% on your startup. So if I can bump that up to 400% or 500%, in other words, you're using 1/4 to a fifth of the fuel that you would normally use to get a certain result. Okay, now that you got your mass heat source, you could actually take a 5-gallon pail, right, and say you can fill it up full of wood pellets. It would take let's say maybe a coffee container size, say a 1-gallon pail, and you put this in a crucible like this, right? I could easily make this out of factory cement or find some steel. So what you would do is the Joepipe would go into here, and this would be your exhaust going out, and you'd measure the temperature difference, right? Temperature in, temperature out, and you get an idea of how much heat that this is using. So this would be closed off, This could be insulated on the outside to bump it up. Okay, and so as your heat's going in here, it's heating up the gap between the outside and the inside container. And so all these wood pellets will be, this is not gasification because I'm not, the fire is being ported around. Gasification is where you actually have your heat source inside. By pyrolysis, you're going to get a much cleaner effect, right? But it takes more heat. So with the Joepipe bumped up with the water gas, I'm hoping that it's going to be, that it could be used as a slave unit for gasification. This could be plastic, hard plastic cut up. It could be bits of tires. It could be wood. It could be septic waste. So what I'm going to try to do is take the Joepipe, bump it up as best I can, like an 1.25 inch, probably an inch and a quarter pipe, and to see if I can actually gasify a 1 gallon container. So that's going to give me my parameters. But in the time that we're coming in we're going to have to do something. You might have your bags packed, you might have a safe location to go to, but you're going to need heat. You're going to have a way where you can make your own fuel. That's why that designing this pyrolysis system. So there's lots of wood around, and with the Joepipe running on propane with water gas as a secondary, we'd have a cheap heat source. We could create your wood gas out of here, and then you could condense it back down into fuels, where you just condensate out the vapors, and you can make your gasoline, your diesels, your propane, and things like that. Then you have a stock fuel to run the auxiliary on the fuel feed on the Joepipe. Okay, going to leave it here. I need to log in my test today, and I'm glad that the 2-inch air pipe worked. And tomorrow I need to spend a couple hours on making a couple new Joepipes one out of copper and one out of clear quartz. And then I'm going to start experimenting on the swirl devices, designing different swirl devices which actually manipulate the flame, where you can change it from a laminar to a vortex. And I'm just going to check the timing on this. All right. So your swirl devices play a very important part. Initially, I was just using copper pipe with a cap with a feed in here, and I would pull the flame in here, and it would go like that. When I was using water gas, there's at times where I would see triggered anomalies happen, above 5,000 degrees. There's times where I used Inconel and also platinum pipes, pipe that's really hard, titanium, where there would be an anomaly and you would see a lightning go around the outside of the pipe and it just shear it off. There's many anomalies. That's because the material, whether the pipe or the fuel, has been shifted into the fourth state of matter, and when it's combusted, it actually pulls energy out of the fifth state of matter or out of the quantum state. So your swirl device does play an important role. So your swirl device could be just a piece of soapstone like this. Usually, if your diameter is 1.5 inches, your hole would be 1/2 inch, right? So when the flame comes in, the fuel goes through there and also comes around there, because I got wire that's wrapped around. So that's the basic design that I've been using for years. One thing I would like to try is make one out of soapstone. That's where the edges of the soapstone, where I could just take, cut this in with a file or with a hacksaw. You got these cuts on here on an angle. You can make them straight to see what kind of reaction that's going to take place, whether it's going to improve the flame front, increase the heat. Another one is a ball. You can actually bring the propane through the ball, so when the air comes around, it's going to tighten like that, right? And it should create a spin. Another design, which I've already tried that I know works, where I've actually seen a quantum shift, is just an egg, like an egg shape inside of the pipe. And my last test, I was having the propane on the air coming through the back, and it came around here, and when it backflashed, because when you have your fuel coming to the back, there, you know, because your flame is burning backward. And if you do get a backflash, and I did get a backflash, I actually lost my hearing for about 6 months in one of my ears, in my right ear, and my testing was set up against a trailer on the outside and actually knocked the books off the fridge on the inside of the trailer, and it shook another building that was 80 feet away. So when you get an implosion, when it backfires, you get an implosion like that, you get a tremendous concussion wave. You have to be careful. So I'll probably design it with a fuel feed going through the center, then add auxiliary fuel around it and see what happens. But the Lord told me back in 2004 that the perfection of the fuel will lead to the discovery of unlimited heat. And that's, you know, taking petroleum fuels and bumping the fuels up into the plasma range, which could be 5,000, 7,000 degrees. And the Lord spoke to me in an audible voice, and he said that this would become the #1 discovery of the 21st century, because you're putting something in the hands of the remnant where they'll be able to be off grid. Because if you got heat about 5,000 degrees, you could oil any steam that you put in there. You can make hydrogen and oxygen. You have no problem doing any forms of gasification. Okay, going to end it here. This is Joshua Taylor coming to you in this episode 12 on the Exodus 2 Live. This is the 12th episode on where the Joepipe, where I would like to take it.